Last time I set up a parallaxed background. Wasn't looking that great on the stream. It was just using rotated squares and also some floating islands. Floating islands, good idea, concept, but I need some different asset stuff probably. Um, cause just using, you know, unfiltered pixel art at a sort of small scale to imply like, oh, it's far in the distance, look pretty bad. Pretty liney, aliased. I can potentially maybe import different versions that are using different asset settings or materials using a different asset filtering mode. Um, I'll have to investigate with that. Um, I used that same system in the meantime in offline dev this past week to use some spores instead of the just rotated squares. So they're now like spores that wander around. And also, I brought post processing to the main level, so the spores are glowy as well. They're using the background glow post processing. So I think this is looking way better than the like rotated squares and floating islands we had last time on stream. Oh, also our like safety bubble shader here is applying glow as well. It's not as noticeable in this point that has like the dusk background, but if you get up to the wow, why am I not? That's such a hard jump. These chickens are on me. I don't know why. I'll have to look. I think I might have made edge grab too strict, but I can definitely jump from here. What was I saying? Oh, right, yeah. Looks better on the pitch black background, but at the same time, I like the idea of having a like a gradient background over time. Like I think this at this point it's starting to look pretty decent. Uh, but this would still just be an intermediate step. Um, I would like try to get those floating islands back online, I think. Um, and or in whatever way to fix the pixel art thing. They probably wouldn't be glowing. Overall, I think maybe a bit too much. Oh crap, I got caught up with. I wasn't paying attention. Um anyway, so yeah, that's some slight offline improvements to those background sprites. And I added post-processing into the main level. Actually, all levels, not just the main levels, the other boss level test levels as well. And that showed some bugs and some assumptions in the post-processing stuff. So I fixed those. But what I actually spent more time working on and thinking about in offline dev work was like project management, task organization type stuff. Um, so I set up some milestones here to uh, sort of have. I might need to bring this over. I'm not 100% sure this is showing. I think it is. Let's see. Refresh. Is that coming? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um. So by having like milestones, the idea is not only does it sort of like put guardrails around scoping and scope creep, just like outlines, okay, this is the scope. Oops. It's like discreetly, here is the scope, here are the incremental, here are the things sort of organized in terms of importance. Um, so yeah, it's useful in that way, but also just like getting to a version that has a somewhat representative version of all the things just to start getting some playtesting and feedback, I think is pretty important. Uh, those feedback loops are going to help reveal my blind spots and hopefully point me to the things that need the most fixing, the things that need the most polishing. So yeah, I mean, I also filled out the Trello for sort of all these pre-alpha tasks. Um, so stuff like all the different platforms I want to eventually go to need to be able to build and deploy all those places. Reload and quit. Reload is broken right now. Quit, I didn't even bother to implement. This low-hanging fruit optimization, preloading, setting up the meadow level. So that's sort of two variations of platform spawning and probably a handful of enemies, stuff like that. The two bosses associated with the meadow level, and then 2 to 4 active items, which is what I'm going to try and do today. I mean, you can see the rest. It's been on screen for a while. I don't want to like line item go through this chart, but yeah, today we're gonna add the framework for being able to like add active items in general and add a couple of active items hopefully. So that would be like these sort of tasks. We're gonna do like a bomb, a laser, UI, and a few others. So I'm trying to go to 4 overall. I don't know if I'll get there today. That's what like all the tasks are. Um, we'll see how many we can get done. So, and go ahead and get started with that. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I don't have any. I wanted to make sure I didn't have any delta I needed to get rid of. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the overall framework to like make active items. So let me actually break this up into some bits. I would say like base class to inherit from that calls use, manages cooldown, and such. You need a base class. You need the input detection to invoke that derived call. And just as like a proof of concept, just print in the base virtual. So yeah, basically a base class and the input detection that is hooked up to it. So let's look at scripts. Not under resources. Here we go. Scripts. I guess layer, that's where modifiers for upgrades. So I'll make a new one that is active items. And we're going to create a new script in here called active item base. And I forgot to open Visual Studio, so this might take a second. Hopefully not. But maybe. I don't know why it needs to recompile. Alright. I really gotta get a better computer one of these days. I could afford it, I'm just lazy. Seems like it would be a lot of work to swap out a computer. Guess not though. I have like some really advanced cable management type stuff. So it actually is set up so it'd be the minimum amount of pain to plug a different computer into my existing setup. But even still, I don't know. I don't know how much I really need it, and I can, if I don't spend the money on a computer, I can just invest it, get interest returns and such. Anyway, so it's active item base. We said we would have like a cooldown. That's probably a serialized field. All right, I guess we're probably not setting it in editor. We're probably setting it in data. So Actually, that's a good point. We probably want to like a struct of the quantitative data. A protected struct active item data. We'll need something like a public. Zoom in. Public string name. Public string description. It'll be similar to the modifier thing. I don't think I want to deal with the extent to which those things should share common code path today. Um, we'll make this first, and then like when we have it functional, we'll see like okay, put them side by side. What do they share? What can we move to common calls? And like do things actually become more convenient by moving them to a common call? That's the question behind everything. It has to actually like make you more efficient or make the thing work better. Anyway, name description, public float, cooldown. And then maybe we'll also have a different public float initial cooldown. Maybe some things will be up right away. Some things you'll have to wait a little bit after picking them up, but that wait period might not necessarily be the same as like the after use period. I think that might be all we need for now. Except I guess also a constructor. Public active item data string and string e and cd and icd. Sort of like pass through constructors. I don't actually care about making them like this shouldn't be this should be a float. Cooldown equals cd initial cooldown. Initial. Yeah. Okay, so we got that pass-through constructor that we can like statically initialize a long S list with. But oh, I guess it also needs a type. Right? Does it? I don't. We'll see. Let's leave the type out for now. But we would then need to actually, yeah, I think I do want it to work like a modifier where it passes a type. Or it would be a system type. Or I guess I would expect it to be an active item base class, I guess. Oh, I can't call it class, right? Item class. We call it item type. Okay, anything else? I think so. I guess the next bit would be the like protected virtual void on invoke. And then also we would probably have a private void in, well, it shouldn't be called invoke, I guess. It should be on use and use. Because here we can check our cooldown, which means we do need to, well, I guess I need a, like that. Can I do that? No, I have to do this. Yeah, so maybe don't need this. All right, let's just keep moving forward. We'll get rid of it if we don't need it. So on use to be like protected, probably we have a private float and cooldown timer. On start, we say our cooldown timer is equal to my active item data dot cooldown. In this kind of base pattern, I also usually like to have like explicit callbacks for everything, so it's just obvious. It's obvious that the base class hooks the Unity stuff, and the derived has to hook like the next level. Because it's not obvious what happens if you do that. I never remember, but something takes precedence and the other thing doesn't get called. So there's a bunch of callbacks to hook into if desired. And then I think I'm gonna have the pattern I have with, I think, like shields or something, where you have to implement. I guess if you have to implement this, why would you even care? It can just be private. If we're doing the you have to give me your active item data, which means we have to say it's abstract. And then awake, say active item data equals get active item data. Okay. On pre-update, in our real update, we say cooldown timer minus equals time dot delta time. And then here on use, we only do something if we're not on cooldown. Which case we will, oh wait, this is not where I want to put it. I want to put it here. Use, on use, and cooldown timer equals active item data dot something. Cooldown. It's telling me right there. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Oh, I have to make this an abstract class. So that means to just do our basic debug printing proof of concept, we will need like a little test class called active item test. Okay, this is telling me it's wrong because I have to implement that thing. Let's take a look at that thing. Repin this, by the way, and unpin spline and backgrounds. Okay, here's the signature. Place our abstract with an override. And then we're going to say return new active item data. Test active item. Only debug prints. Does nothing. Cooldown, say 5 seconds. Initial cooldown, 1 second. And the type is always just this. Right? Type of this. I don't think I need this. It's not allowed. Hello, Battery Shark. With the type being implicit in the override class, I don't think we need it. Get rid of that. Head back over here. So this is, we implemented our abstract function. That's all we need to do, except we'll never know unless we also implement on use. And I just say debug log test active item was used. Okay. Next. I probably need a manager to instantiate these things and then just like keep track of what the player currently has. So let's make a new script active item manager. Why do I have the wrong thing open? Close misc player active items. All right, active item manager. This is gonna have a static. What am I working on? I am right now we're adding like use items, but I guess bigger picture is a like a vertical platformer where you're sort of like chasing a vine up into the sky. Once Unity is done here, I can run through. I guess my motivation around adding active items is I don't know. It's definitely like a big challenge to just implement platforming so well that the platforming itself is like enough fun active. So active items gives you like another thing to do here other than potentially just platform. How long have I been working on it? Probably quite a while. It's hard to say though because for a while I was barely working on it at all. I've been streaming for like maybe 6 months, but in the beginning I would probably only work like those 2 hours a week where I streamed. So, 2 hours a week or 2 to 3 hours a week doesn't really get you nothing. But more recently, as I've been getting further along, I've been spending a lot more time on it. So yeah, we got the basics of like jumping around. We got shops. We got stuff over to the side, stuff like that. Um, Post processing starting to make it look decent. There's still a ways to go. Still, just this jumping around, it's okay, but I think active items would help it out a lot. I'm gonna plunge to my death. So yeah, that's working on that framework right now. And we made this active item test, but we have to actually instantiate it. So I think what I want to do here is I want to have an array of active item base and active items. And I also want an index current active item. Or yeah, current item index. And then this is where I'll listen for the actual control. So first we have to fill up this thing though. Fill up this array. Equals new active item base 1 of just new active item test. And it like we don't have to pass it a bunch of junk because it's just taking care of it in this override function. You send it, the base class knows it's junk from this. So now we have our sort of function that we're listening to. Would be like private void on attempt use, we'll say. We say active items, current active item index, this one. Dot use, or it was private. I guess we have to make it public. Public. So we'll add code later to potentially switch this index. But there's only one thing for now, so there's no need. And I want to find that. I remember there's like a. I guess in the shop code is where I can look, because I'm pretty sure I can just set up input bindings in code, which I much prefer to like, yeah, like this. I'll just copy a bunch of these to use. I don't know. I don't like clicking through the Unity input manager thing. Maybe as I get into like more complicated control schemes, definitely like potentially adding custom control support and you know, a bunch of different platforms. And maybe I'll look at that time at using a more robust control thing. But just for quick iterating, I definitely prefer setting up input in code. Okay. So we need a private input action attempt use input. We'll put it on E. And we'll give it this. You need like a callback context, yeah. Okay, so this means when we hit E, it will use the active item, whatever active item is currently selected or like held, and this use function will check the cooldown. And if the cooldown is below what it needs to be, it'll go through to the derived functions on use callback, which in this case is just gonna print to the console. I think that's enough for a test. So what do I expect to see? If I hit E, it should print to the console, but if I spam E, it shouldn't, because it should be on a 10-second cooldown. Where's my console? Console window went away. There you go, add it back. Not there though, I want it here. All right, it's out. Okay, so give it a second because we did give it an initial cooldown of 1 second. So it should be up now. Hit E. Nothing happened. Oh, I forgot to add that script to anything. I guess player. Maybe the world. Yeah, I guess the player. I think the player modifier objects here. Yeah, this has like the shop stuff. Um, so let's add it's like active item manager is what needs to be added. All right, let's try that out again. That did not work, but oh, it's saying I can't do that. I don't actually need it. I guess instead what I need to do here is so yeah, the error message here is you are trying to create a mono behavior with new. It's not allowed. You can only do add components. You can use scriptable object or no base class, but I actually do want the base class to like hook into the update loops and stuff. So all we need to do though is add the components. We make this an empty array in the beginning. And then we add the component, and I'm pretty sure game object dot add component active item test. And then does this return the component? Yeah, it does. So we just say active items 0 is equal to the one we just added. And then here we should also add a maybe just add at the top. Const int k num active items currently equal to 1. Num active items, and then we say for an I equals 0, I is less than the amount of active items there are, plus I, and then we have a bool. B should be enabled, is equal to I. If I is our current item index, then yes, it should be enabled. Otherwise, it shouldn't be. So then we just say active items I set active or enable false. Or I guess enabled is just should be enabled. Yeah. So that means when we add a bunch, they won't all be like ticking their cooldown timers and stuff. It'll only turn on whatever one we currently have equipped. Which this probably needs a system of like none is currently equipped, like passing a -1 or something. But not yet, because in the immediate future we just want to test. All right. So no error message about. Oh, whoops! I hit play twice. Um, but it didn't spawn any error message about not being allowed to add a component. So hopefully, it's happy with that change, and when I hit E, it'll print to the console. Did not though. Why is that? Why is that? Hmm. It's active item manager. Oops, I died. Active item manager adds an active item test. Oh, I guess I should have checked on the player. Is it in? I should be equal to 0. Um, so is it possible? This is. Oh, I need to enable it. There's one more call I missed here, I think. All right, let's try that again. Technically that's actually wrong. Let me come back. You want to have like an on enable and on disable so this just like works properly. Um, on disable. Okay. All right. So yeah, we made our input binding, but the input binding was never actually enabled, so it wasn't working. Now that the input binding is enabled, hopefully we press E, we get our dang debug message. Hmm. Still nothing. Take a look. Let's just spam some debug printing. See what parts are and aren't happening. Oh, you know what? This is wrong, I think. I think it's being enabled before it's being created and it's silently failing. Yeah, let's get rid of this question mark. Question mark is like do nothing if null, like a null check is built into the function call. But I think in that case it was silently hiding in like an ordering error. Is there already an awake I missed? Yeah, it's up there. So yeah, what I think was happening there was awake happens, which did not create the input. Then enable happens, which says enable the input if it's not null, but it is null because it hasn't been made yet. And then start happens, and the input gets created, but it never gets enabled because it already missed its opportunity to be enabled. All right, we're jumping around. Still nothing? Maybe I need to enable it on start. Maybe that's happening even sooner. But yeah, now I'm starting to get suspicious, so I'm gonna add this like debug printing awake manager. Oh, we can also pause the game really quick. You can see if the component is there. That's a good test. Yeah, it does have an active item test. Check to override void. Oh, sure. Active item base. Put on timer. Are we not decrementing? No, we are. Put on timer minus equals time delta time. Yeah, I guess just debug printing. Use called. Else. I missed a semicolon and now IntelliSense going to be upset. On cooldown. And cooldown timer. Alright. Then. Alright, let's try that. Yeah, you're right. I probably should just break into it and see what's happening. On the one hand, I like that Unity now warns me that like, hey, if you want to turn on debugging, I'm gonna go slower. But on the other hand, I feel like it makes me more hesitant to do a breakpoint when I normally when I probably just should. See, with this version of Unity, you have to like explicitly set on debugging support now. All right, the manager awake did happen. Hmm. Okay. I got use. I got the thing I was expecting. So basically, I guess needs to enabled, I guess, doesn't implicitly get called. You need to enable it on start. I'm pretty sure this was the thing. Um, so yeah, I guess it would have had to start disabled and then become enabled to actually trigger on enable. So on enable never called. So disabled without this call. With this call, I was getting that expected debug printing test active item was used. I'm gonna go back and delete my debug printing now. And then I think, well, except that one. That one stays. Yeah, I don't need this. Okay, I think that's it, right? Bam, bam, bam. Just print in the base virtual. We didn't do the base virtual. We made a derived class that just prints, but the point is active item framework, the basics of it, we got it. All right. Next part of this is spawning bomb. I feel like this is the simplest form of an active item. Just kill the enemies around you. Uh, so let's add that. So I don't remember if I hit tilde. Let's hit it now, just in case. Set that chapter. Okay, so a bomb. Make a new script. This will basically function pretty similarly to the shield upgrades, I think. Active item bomb. This is going to be an active item base. It's going to say, hey, you need to override that one function. This one. Bomb. Destroys nearby enemies. What is this? Oh, a cooldown. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. Okay, update we don't need. We need our protected override on use. And I guess there are a couple things we could do. We could like make a sprite similar to the how the shields work. It's like an expanding circle. We could just do a raycast and plan to spawn an effect later. I think we should follow the example of the shield. Oops, shield has eye first. Take a look at what it's doing. Shield charge. Oh, maybe I can even just use this whole shield system. If I just try doing this. Use this same prefab, because this is just a color if I remember correctly. I can use this same prefab. Well, I guess it would be more this. Isn't there like an explosive shielder? Or yeah, shield charge on damage? No. Alright, I not sure the extent to which those would share code. I feel like when I'm confused and I'm like F12ing around, I feel like that means they're actually not meant to share code and I'm like shoehorning it in too much. We can have the same thing of like making a prefab here for the bomb to spawn. That is basically just a circle collider that'll expand and shrink over time. Um, but we have to do that. Oh, yeah, thanks for the follow there. All right, so resources, prefabs. I guess it's like items. Oh, there's shields. I'll make a new one for active items. And I'll make a new, well, I guess I should make it in the world. Started out as just a empty object. Bomb explosion. Set it to zeros and stuff. Add a sprite. Just a circle. Should probably be on a pretty high collision layer, or I mean rendering layer. Be like something like orange is bad because of this background, but we'll do like a red orange. Should also have some alpha. And it should be on unlit. Okay. Anything else? I guess it needs to have a circle collider. It needs to be on, there's like an enemy kill bubble or something. Enemy death bubble. Yeah, we already have a collision layer that I think is enough to tell enemies to just die if they hit this. We can maybe animate it later, but let's just make it big for now and leave it up for a few seconds before redisabling it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and drag that to be a prefab. I don't remember the code to load a prefab. I'm gonna have to look at the shield charge. This. Okay, so back to the bomb. We'll add an on awake. Expected override on awake. We'll say private game object m explosion prefab. Well, let's just say explosion object. Let's just spawn it right away and make it invisible. I don't want to be spawning and deleting things all the time. This prefab path is going to be prefabs, active items, bomb explosion dot. Is it dot prefab? Let's check one of the shields. No, you don't do dot prefab. And bump this to the next line. And then we say explosion object equals instantiate prefab, and the parent is just going to be this, so game object dot transform, not call. Okay, so when we wake up, we make one of this explosion prefabs, and we disable it. Enabled? Is it set active or something? Do I have to actually enable the sprite render and stuff specific? Oh yeah, set active. False. Okay, this is probably a good enough point to recompile, make sure it works. It won't do anything yet, but we should be able to spawn it in, and we'll just add a different debug print statement. It says this is the bomb. Okay, and then in our manager, we up this to 2. we add one of these lines, increment it. Actually, now we can do instead. This doesn't even need to be const. It can just be num active items equals 0. And then here, as we index, we can post increment. Oh, I guess we are allocating it. Ah, it's fine. It's fine. Like, what am I being too clever? For no good reason. All right, active item test, active item bomb. And then what we'll do is change the default index from 0 to 1. We can delete this bomb explosion from the world because we have it saved as a prefab. Delete. Okay. So when we hit E, if it worked, if it's set up properly, we should get that slightly different message. This is the bomb, but nothing will happen yet. All right, and also good to know there wasn't a visible bomb that spawned. All right, did it work? Console, this is the bomb, yeah. Also, you can see spamming it. I'm only at 2 hits now because it's on cooldown. Okay, so, oh, I forgot to, let me double check the properties of the bomb prefab. Make sure it's being spawned properly and it's just invisible. Let's pause. We go to the player modifiers, bomb explosion. Yep, there it is. It's probably too small. I need to make it bigger, I think. 5.5 instead of 3.3. Cool. All right, so it is like there and being hidden. So we'll say add a like a duration at the top. Private float K explosion duration. We'll say initially 1.5 seconds. Okay. Oh wait, this is the active item manager. This isn't the place for that. We want to go to the bomb. Should be const as well. Okay. So in onUse, instead of printing, what we're going to do is we're going to say m explosion object set active true, and then invoke what a private void here, disable explosion. We'll call false, and then we invoke disable explosion after whatever duration, K explosion duration. Yeah. Okay, so this should actually work. I'm not sure if the collision layers are 100% set up. Maybe the explosion needs a component to actually kill the enemies. We'll see about that. But it should at least spawn the sprite and then hide it after a second and a half. So does it? Did not. Oh wait, there it is. Oh, I guess there was an initial cooldown. That's why I didn't. That's a good test of that as well. All right, I do not. Why is my ledge grab being so finicky lately? I need to find some enemies to try killing. Did not get them. Did not. All right, let's review the enemies. I thought they like were set up to destroy themselves when something hit them, but oh, I forgot to make this a trigger. It's everything is definitely a trigger, but I mean, since I stopped the game anyway, let's double check how the enemies are dying. So do these have? Oh right, their health box is what actually happens. Destroy and clamp, animator, destroyer. We can check the bubbles that already kill the enemies. That's a better test. That would be side areas, shop. Look at a shop bubble here. Or I guess enemy death bubble. Oh yeah, we do have to have destroy other on trigger enter. So it is us that needs to send it. Let's copy this. Put it on our bomb. I guess it needs a rigid body as well. I don't know if that's true. So where is our bomb again? Right, active items here. Kinematic body. Okay. So now it'll actually kill enemies, I think, but we'll find out if that's true. Yeah. All right, let's go find some chickens to hopefully blow up. I should one of the things that's like pretty high up on my to-do list is set like dedicated test levels. I feel like if you want to test blowing up chickens, it's oh yeah, it gets them. Cool. But yeah, I was saying if you want to test blowing up chickens, it seems ridiculous that I have to like jump around for 20 seconds. It's just like inefficient. Got him? Got him. All right, that works. And I can't just spam it. It's not happening here even though I'm spamming E. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I think that crosses it off. That works. All right, and then I have laser here, but this should just take like a second, I think. All I have to do is make a different oriented bomb, make it maybe shoot and then jump back or something. I guess, yeah, let's just duplicate our bomb explosion. Call it laser beam. Yeah, I crossed that off. I didn't see if I crossed that off my list. All right, laser beam. Give a slightly different color, like yellowy green. I guess it shouldn't be green. It should be more pink, because the vine is green. And instead of a circle, it'll be a box. Now let me instantiate one. Oh, actually, I'll just look at it like this. Sprite circle, square instead. And then instead of being simple, make it tiled. But that doesn't affect. I was hoping that would automatically affect the collider, but it does not. Let's just make it like a fat rectangle that gets shot out. So that I guess is a larger X scale. Why? Like that. Switch back to simple if tiled isn't going to work how we want it to. Then I guess this one, you do want to take a slightly different approach because we probably will destroy them. For a bomb where it's like always centered on you, um, it makes sense to only have one and toggle it. But with this where it's like a projectile, I don't know if it's like I don't think it really is saving me much of anything to like catch it when it falls off screen and teleport it back to me, you know? Let's just give it a timed life like we would have for most projectiles. UI destroyer. So that just means we set destroy on start on this destroy interface, but with a delay. Say like 8 seconds. Okay. So we need a new script to shoot this laser. That is going to be under player, active items, create Caesar ship, active item laser. It'll be, wait a second. What happened to my Visual Studio? Oh, that's weird. I'm not sure what happened there. It's fine. Um, active item laser. Let's reopen active item bomb. Bomb? I don't know why I got rid of my pins. It's kind of annoying. This, I'm honestly just gonna copy and modify this. I don't need the duration, but I will need a prefab. So we don't have an explosion object, we have a laser prefab. We don't do this instantiation, we just load it. Okay, don't need this. This has to be an active item base. Laser. This is gonna need to know the facing of the player to know what direction to shoot in. So let's get the facing here in awake. Actually, should be on start, I think, because it's a composite object. The facing will be on the parent actually, and I'm not 100% sure in the instantiation order. But if we use on start, then we know the other object will be created. Okay. Let's get our facing interface. This we don't need. On use, we're gonna actually instantiate. I guess this needs something to move it, so I'm gonna add Q move translation. I'm gonna add Q specific direction or something. Q MVC specific direction. Yeah, so this is the movement controller MVC meant to be used for like things like bullets, or in this case, like a laser beam. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna instantiate our laser prefab at, not with our parent, but at our own position. Not like game object as a type, game object as a member position, and no rotation, quaternion dot identity. We'll bump those to the next line. Okay, there's our laser object. So I need a space there. I lost my cursor. Then we say laser object dot get component QMVC specific direction. And then we'll say set direction based on M facing. Get, it's like, what is the facing interface? Facing? I can set facing, but I can't get facing? What is this? Oh, it's get direction. That was an interesting name choice of me from a few years ago. I guess in other games you can be facing up and down. Your direction can, I don't know. I should have said facing. Anyway. So yeah, if we're facing left, then we'll shoot. So we'll say var direction is equal to, are we facing left? If we are, then the direction is vector2 left. If we're not, then it's vector2 right. And we set direction to that direction. Okay, I think that's all we need. As long as this prefab path is correct, which I think it is. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to go to the active item manager and instantiate this. And also set it to be like our current active item. So we'll say active items 2, 3 up here, 2 down here is going to be our new active item laser. And we switch this index from 1 to 2. I think that's it. Yeah, let's try it. So if it all works, we'll send out this pink rectangle whenever we hit E with a 5-second cooldown. Oh, and also that pink rectangle will kill enemies. All right, that's not laser speed probably, but the concept works. Let's go find some enemies to make sure the death part of it works. And then we'll do like just one quick round of value changes. I'm not gonna get into like a infinite tweaking thing. Yeah, it definitely kills enemies. I guess one thing that actually is a code thing is we don't want to spawn it on us, right? Because we want the back to be on us and it goes out, I would think. Actually, I feel like fixing that, it'll probably be a shader in the end anyway. So like getting an incremental step for the thing, it doesn't seem worth it. I'm just gonna tweak those prefab values and then we'll move on to the next thing. So go to active items, laser beam. It needs to be probably like a little bit shorter and like way less, maybe like 1.5. And then the speed should also be up to a lot. Say like 10, it can go twice as fast. Let's just shoot it once or twice, make sure we can zap some enemies with it. And if it seems fine enough, which I'm pretty sure it will, because again, this is mostly about proof of concept. Like, I do the tweaking of numbers and like making it look better and stuff like that offline. All right, let's find some chickens. We used to have rats in the main level. I forget why I removed them. Maybe it was slowing down testing. Got to get rats back in the main level. All right, dumb chicken. All right, yeah, we got him. Is it up again? 5 seconds is a long time. Oh yeah, there's some guys. All right. Oh, I should have faced left. Let me check that real quick too. One more shot. Make sure it goes left if I'm facing left. It does. All right. Cool. 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 We're gonna cross that off and move on to the next thing. Okay. Active item UI. This doesn't need to be perfect at all, and it like probably will be super placeholder, but you can see there. I'm just like spamming. Oh, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Because I have no way to know like what its current cooldown state is. So let's just add a very simple little UI that is surfacing that cooldown information. So we'll go to our landscape group. We won't bother adding it to the portrait group for now, the mobile version. We think we just need one sprite, so we're gonna create a new. Oh, it's gonna make me go to the. It's not gonna let me add an object to this prefab unless I go to the thing. So let's go to the prefab menu. We're gonna go to landscape. Let's collapse these. Under landscape game group, we're gonna add a new image. And this image is going to be active item UI. Where should I put it? I guess down here. It's one place that's not very used. And I just want this to be a circle that is filled, radial 360. They're like images as a material. By right, unlit default. Where? Why can't I? Oh, it's down here. I see. Price default is fine, probably. Yeah, this is probably fine enough. Here, our active item manager, there's no way to get this, I don't think. Unless I get it off the deployment UI script. I could make it so I could. I mean, why not? This is the pattern I'm using. Oops. So we'll say public static image s active item image. Oh, and it's looking for tags to make it order independent. So let's add a tag. Call it active item UI. And I know it's going to get mad at me if it can't find a similar one on the portrait, so we'll just add one. We just won't worry about what it to do at the end here. We're not going to like actually make it do anything. All right. We're only going to test in landscape. So this should just be a circle that like fills up. Anything else I need to do? Oh, right, I need to actually connect it. Okay. So here in images, we also want to look for S active item image is null and image.compare tag active item UI. So there we can find our image there and we say S image equals image. Oh wait, we shouldn't break anymore. Yeah, okay. And then here in active item manager, I can just get that static. Only one of the UI. So on update, you would want to generate a cooldown T, which is equal to first let's say we have cooldown remaining, which is either the cooldown timer, not timer. Wait. Oh, I have to get it out of my actual like current active item. Okay. M active items at current item index. In fact, let's just probably get that. We're probably going to need it a lot. Our cur this. We say if cur dot I guess I need an interface to get it. So let's go to active item base. Why don't we just do all the work here? Around our updates, we can say something. Well, actually, I like to put at the top, custom functions at the top, and like base class overrides at the bottom. So this is a private, or I guess public, float get cooldown T, and it's going to be equal to float remaining. It's equal to timer, or if it's bigger, just give me 0 if 0 is bigger than the timer, if the timer's in negative. And then return mathf lampa1 remaining over and active item data like cooldown. Right, so well, I guess we want this to be bigger as remaining gets smaller, so we actually have to inverse this by doing 1 minus. Okay. Now in our active item manager, we can just say if Don't even have to check anything. Just say S or deployment UI or something. This active item image dot fill is equal to cur dot get active item get cooldown T. All right, hopefully that'll work. Let's see. And again, not final. This is proof of concept D. Still a long way from final, unfortunately. But, you know, marching ever forward. All right, this did not work. This was not set. So why is that? Because we didn't set the tag here. So let's set the tag now. Try again. Not seeing it. It might be on the wrong layer. See if we can find it here. Does it not need to be sprites default? Or is it on the wrong camera? The problem here. What is like if I look at the combo sprites, how are they set up? It says none is a material, yeah. Oh, it's in the game layer, so it doesn't appear until the game starts. All right, so this would tell me I can currently use my thing. Yeah, and see it's coming back. All right, let me move it back to where it actually is by restarting. All right, so yeah, it's almost. While we can see it now, let's go ahead and get over slightly. Maybe like negative 400 and negative 45. That good? I think so. Just remember those nav values, negative 400, 245. All right. So hopefully this will be an accurate reflection of the cooldown. So I can't use it now, can't use it. Now I can. Yep, and it goes back on cooldown and slowly ticks back. I guess one other part of this UI that I still need to like do the basic version of is like showing what upgrade you have. So I think that's just going to be a pink circle or an orange circle for now, but I still am going to like set up the sprites and such. So let's reopen our UI, our massive UI prefab. On this active item UI, we're going to copy it, make it a child, and rename it. Let's call it landscape active item progress and landscape active item type. And this should be smaller. We'll say it will move the progress to a power of 2 or like a even thing of 128. And then we'll move the type to, we'll say 64. And then in our data here, we're going to need, we'll just say a color for now. Long term probably also needs a sprite. But we'll just use a circle for everything for now. I think that's good enough to set up the plumbing. Here we will also need the active item, say progress image and type image. And here where it's broken, item progress image. And active item type image. We know the type is going to be a child of the progress, so we can easily find it. That's sort of the idea here is like the top level things, you tag them so their order is whatever, but like within the grouping of those things, you can make assumptions. So exact item type image equals image dot get components and children image 1. The 0 will just be the same image again. Problem. Oh, components. Okay, so now we can reference it. Yeah, switch this to progress image, bump this to the next line. And we can just set it an update for now. In the future, it should probably be like a discrete when your equipped item changes. That we just change the color, but we can just set, or because we'll have to change the sprite too. But for now, we can just set the color to cur.color. Or cur dot. I guess I need to be able to pass through the color as well. Get item data color. Turn and active item data. Dot color. Right color. Yeah. And we also need color C. Sprite color equals C. That should break our other things. Did I make it get color? They're not gonna work because they're errors now. So laser will make magenta. Our bomb make orange. Is there no orange really? Yellow, I guess. What else is there? Oh, test. Color dot gray. Okay. Saying missing a semicolon somewhere. Oh, right. This get color. I see, it was just more complicated named. Okay. So what do we hope to see? We hope to see magenta circle inside our progress circle. And then if we switch our item from the laser to the bomb, we should see an orange circle instead. All right, we didn't even get one. Why is that? Pause. I think it might need to be a different. Sorry. I think it. Why is it? Maybe it needs like a Z to be on top. What if I move it out from under? Oh, it has no fill. Still no. I can't see this. Oh, I'm about to die. Can it not be a child? Oh. Should not be active item UI. Starters. Wait. That in mind, how did this even work? This should have failed. This should have crashed. Wait, am I actually? Yeah, I'm setting it. Okay. I don't know why that didn't crash. Should have. but it was constantly being set to a fill value of 0. So that's why, at least that's one possible explanation for why I never saw it. Because it was tagged. Okay, yeah, there we go. Shows up on top. It's weird that it's like slightly offset. I don't think I'm gonna care about that. Yeah, so cool. So now the test is we switch to the bomb and we make sure that this color changes to something other than magenta. I think it was yellow. All right, there you go. Yeah, it's yellow, but is it the bomb? Let's find out. Yeah, it's the bomb. And I guess this is another test. We can switch to our test item. Our test item, I believe, had, oh, it's only 5. Let's make it like way quick. Let's make sure we can see the reflect the change in what's it called? The lower cooldown. It should fill up really quickly. And it should be gray. So it's another test of the sprite thing. Yep, it's gray, and that's much quicker. It is debug printing every time I do this. All right. Yeah, definitely not a polished UI for sure, but it's functional. We're trying to get to. We're gonna cross it off. All right. Next one is resetting your jump. And I guess we'll find out how this goes. This is either going to be incredibly easy or incredibly complicated. Let's find out. So we're going to go to scripts, player. I have a feeling it's going to look like it's incredibly easy, but it's going to be just like a bug farm, where it's going to have weird interactions with other stuff potentially. We're going to call this active item reset jump counter. So the idea here is you could double jump, hit this item, and then double jump again. All right, this is going to be a active item base. Yeah, let's grab. Why is it like constantly closing the scripts I just had open? These like its choices here are bizarre. Must be like I've gone into some weird setting. I don't know. Not QBZ tools. Here. It's like it's getting rid of my settings every time. Whatever. Just plow forward. Alright, reset jump counter. Let's grab our bomb just as like an example for the boilerplate. And I'll replace and remove things as necessary. Alright, so don't need this. But what we will need is a reference to the player's jump. So that is a Q jump jump, M jump. Alright. Don't need any prefabs. We're gonna get rid of all this, change this on awake to an on start, and get our parent's jump. So that is M jump equals get component in parent, Q jump jump. Okay. Here, I don't know what the name should be like, maybe like wings. Cyan. I don't think I've used cyan yet. Reset jump counter. Don't need this. And on use, it's just gonna be as simple as, well, we'll see. Sending the message is as simple as calling M jump, reset jump counter. But will that cause problems? I'd be shocked if it causes no problems, but how cool would that be? Possible I'll find no problems here today, and I'll find problems down the road later. This is our active item reset jump counter. And then we switch our index to 3. Okay. So we would expect to see here a cyan circle to indicate that we have our correct item selected, and then we should be able to do a quadruple jump by using the item. All right, there's our cyan thing. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, yeah, there's some weird velocity things. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, for some reason, I know why. It's like a jump fix. There's this setting where like want to make sure jump force isn't added consecutively together too much, or like sometimes you uber jump. So this is at odds with that, but it works basically. You know, you can see I'm like 1, 2, and now I can't jump anymore. Can't jump. But I do 1, 2, can't jump, hit E, now I can jump again. And I'd use 2 spammy jumps in a row. That's also something I should probably ban. Just put a slight cooldown on actually like triggering the jump logic. Like, did that? See, like that right there, you can barely. I can do a double spam. And that's actually the most stressful case for that like velocity adjustment system. So if I fix that, ooh, I didn't realize I was getting chased so hard by the thorns. Yeah, if I fix that, and there'll be less problems with this. But this appears to like functionally work as far as I can tell. Um, it's just that third jump sometimes missing a little bit of oomph because you're already moving upwards so quickly that it doesn't want to give you too much additional vertical velocity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's like a deep numbers thing. That's not very interesting or like well suited to fix on stream. The core functionality of like basically you hit E, this jump can become a quad jump does work. Especially in cases where want a lot of horizontal velocity, it seems to be fine. Oh yeah, this is even with it kind of being janky, this is like by far my favorite item. I would be searching this out every time to like get those little quad jumps. But yeah, cool. That I mean, we'll see. It's a long. If there might be long-term problems, who knows? But today, here, now, it appears to work. The last thing is time stop. This might be tricky. I know I can just say like time scale equals 0, right? Time scale equals 0, but that'll also stop the player, which isn't what I want. I want to stop everything except the player. So this might be trickier. Might be a way to set a time scale for one object, but I don't know. Let's start with the boilerplate. I can also, you know, I have all these enemies, right? So I can just like hold them all in an array. Um, Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm like looking at like random things about like setting the time scale for specific objects. Uh, yeah, not gonna worry about it at this exact moment. I think I can just, as like a first pass, hold on to the enemies I spawn and like subscribe them to like a time stop event. That just takes a duration. Yeah, I don't even have to hold on to them. I can just give them that event subscription when they spawn. And then if they die, who cares? Like that's one fewer callback. Matter. I think. We'll find out. Uh, but yeah, boilerplate script is the starting point here. Active item time stop. Okay. Well, for starters, we inherit from an active item base. And since we have our player one, or our so jump counter is like the simplest, grab that. Time stop. Make it, I don't know. Colors haven't I used yet? Red, I guess. Red usually means bad, but it's fine. It's a longer cooldown. Stop enemies. Now let's think about how we do this. Look at where the enemies are spawned. That would be spawnables. Animal. Animal manager. Yeah. This is like setting up dictionary of all the animal data. Where does it actually spawn thing? Oh, I remember. It's only in these animal spawn boxes. Okay. So here where I spawn, I just have a static event. Let's see. Active item time stop. It's like an event. Sure, events can't be static. Lookup event. I know I use this. I like never know the sorry, syntax off the top of my head. All right, you need a delegate. Can you have a static event? Yes. It's basically like a singleton, right? Time stop activated, and it has a float duration. We will have a const float k duration. We'll say 3 seconds. On time stopped. Okay. And when on use, we just say on time stopped. Oh, that not work? Oh, I need an actual this. Oh, right, duration. Okay, something. Me thought that was this. See, like again, I just never know the syntax on basing chain. That is. Oh, I guess I don't need the. Oh, maybe you can't do it if it's not. If you have to pass. Well, I mean, if it's just going to be a constellation anyway, it might as well be SK time stop duration, and they can care about it in their callback. Now, oh right, get rid of this. Oh wait, maybe I just had the. Hold on, let me try that again. I think I just had the thing wrong. I just have to put it here. Cool. Yeah, I would prefer this just because, if I ever want to make like an upgrade that's like, time stop items are 50% more effective, because I'd probably also be adding a round of time bubble type items once this tech is nice and thing. Um, yeah. So what we're just gonna do is when we tell anybody subscribe to on time stopped that time has stopped, and we tell them for how long so that they know how to turn themselves back on. So we're gonna do there is here in our animal spawn box, we spawn enemies. Say say have a private. We'll need a coroutine because we will need the ability to add parameters to this. Which again, is just one of those, like all these like C# things that I just off my head. All right, so this coroutine would be um re enable. Well, I need something on the enemies themselves, I think. Just add a component for that. These scripts, I guess MISC for now, made a new C# script that's called time stop listener. Start, say time stop or something. We call it active item time stop. As something or on time stopped plus equals my function. Oh, wait, wasn't Visual Studio gonna write that for me? Let's see. Do it? Ah, yeah, there we go. I mean, I would have put it above, but whatever. Active item, time stop. We'll just call it. We only need the beginning of this. Oh, it has a stale thing though. I think. Or no, it does. We went back to having duration, I remember. Okay, on time stopped. Don't throw a not implemented exception. Instead, we will need to get a movement controller interface when we wake up. As well. And I'm gonna move this up. So that'll be a Q or just the movement. Who cares about the movement controller? No. The movement is like the final decider. Okay, so we say and movement is equal to get component, you move by movement. And on time stopped, we say and movement allow movement or something. You can't just hit enabled because of how this works. You have to call a specific function. Set active has its own personal. I should really rename that. That's so misleading. Set active false, and then private void on resume time. True. And then we invoke resume on resume time after duration. Okay, now we give this time stop listener to the chicken. Babs, enemies, chicken. I guess the nice thing about only having the chicken in here is it makes it simple to test things like this. Anyway, time stop listener. Yes. Make sure. Yeah, it's on start. I was gonna say if I did this like subscription on awake, be a problem of what's it called? Be a problem of like instantiation order. We also need to add an on destroy here. I don't know if we need to, but I think it is good practice to unsubscribe on our death. Alright. So this should work, I think. They'll still like they can still hit you. They should stop moving. They might glide if they have existing velocity. So maybe we need to zero out their velocity. Save it so we can restore it after. Let's see. Oh, I didn't give myself the time stop thing. Um, active item time stop, blah, blah, blah. Looks fine. We have to go to the manager, add it. Item time stop. And then we set it to 4. Color was it again? Oh, red. Okay, so it is the correct thing. It's taking a while. Oh, I didn't. I have no chickens. I don't know if it worked. I hit the button. All right, there's can I get a couple chickens? Oh, whoops, I fell. Eh. Hey, they stopped. Oh my god, I can't believe it. And they resumed. Oh my god, who could imagine? I thought that was gonna be so much harder than that. Look at that. Wow, that was shocking. I expected that to take so much longer. Now I have like 20 or 30 more minutes where I don't have any task plan. I guess I could add another upgrade, another active item. Let me see what I have on my whiteboard. I didn't put it in the OneNote. Well, it's always nice when things go better than expected. You know, usually as a programmer, the classic thing is, oh, that was way harder than I expected. I guess I can add like the most basic forms of bomb and laser animations. These still won't be final, but I can at least make the bomb, instead of just appearing in a circle, I can make it explode outward. And the laser, I can see if I can do that, like, from stretching outward and then moving type deal. Um, so let's switch back to the bomb. Oh, I forgot to, did I cross off time stop? Cross this off. Add a new thing. Bomb and laser basic animations. Okay, yeah, yellow is the bomb. You know what? As a side note, let me pause this. I'm gonna swap. This is pretty temp anyway, but usually when I think of time stop, I think of like hourglasses, like the bronze dragonflight in World of Warcraft, like a sandy type thing. So I'm gonna switch time stop to yellow and bomb to red. I wanted bomb to be orange. And I mean, in the even not even the long term, in the medium term, I'm gonna swap in sprites for these instead of just colored circles. Maybe I can do that as well. I don't have the sprites ready yet. I have to go get them. It's just a lot of looking around the internet or like looking through my asset back. Anyway, swap that color just as like an aesthetic thing. But yeah, see the bomb just appears. We can use the just the Unity animator to do a little bit better than that. All right, let's go to prefabs, active items, bomb explosion. Go ahead and add an animator. And open the animation window. I think it's just Control 6. That. It's over. All right. So let's create a clip for our bomb explosion. Go assets, graphics, animation. I guess player. And I'll say we'll give it its own thing of items. Create a new folder. Bomb spawn. Or just bomb. Then the new animation is spawn. And we're just gonna go off of scale, where over 10 animation units go from 0 here, 5 here, just popping outwards like you would expect. What else? What else? I guess we want to bomb idle as well, where it'll like kind of flicker on the edges. Okay, so I think we can just keep using scale. Sprite scale. Maybe we'll flicker the sprite as well. Alpha. As we'll alpha out as we shrink. Oh, in fact, we should also, as we spawn, we should alpha in. So we should go from see-through to like whatever amount of this is, half. So from zero here to, yeah, just 5 here. Okay. Then the idle will say at maybe a slightly different offset. We want them to be different from each other. Say 2, 4, 6, and 8. Scale for these color. I'll do the scale first. Why are you 0? Not correct. 5. Also not correct. 3 point. Alright, yeah, we'll go like 4.55 and like 5, 4.5 and just alternate like that. Just to make it like flicker a little bit. 5.5 and then 5, 4.5. 5.5 again at the end. And on a slightly different offset, we'll mess with the alpha. So we'll say like 0.4. That's wrong thing. 0.6 over here. So the alpha is also a little flickery. And then we need bomb spawn. Which just going to copy from spawn. We just need to go in the reverse order. So I'll move the first one to 10. And I'll move the end one here. Beginning. I don't know why this is. Yeah, so 5.5. Whatever. That's what I need. Down to 0, 0, 0. Okay. So we have a spawn, an idle, and a despawn. Need to go open up the animation controller. And we started spawn. Make sure idle is set as looping, but the others are not. Spawn can automatically go into idle, but we're gonna call despawn ourselves. Technically this could be calculated, but I'm just gonna wing it, like in terms of associating with the. Oh, I remember how I'm supposed to do this. Animation events. That's how I do it. Well, I want the animation to dictate, how long the bomb is up. I don't think so. I think it should go the other way. The script should dictate the animation. But I'm not gonna deal with that right now. Let's just wing it and get a close enough. As long as, if it plays good enough. Anyway, on use, we will say explosion object, get components, animator, animator, and really we should just get that at the beginning. Explosion animator. We use the item, we say, oh wait, that's what I had to do. I have to actually get it. Explosion object or explosion animator equals an explosion object. Get component. Hey, guess. Visual Studio 2022 is so good at guessing. I mean, sometimes it's getting it wrong, but like a lot of time I can tab and I'm just like not used to it, so I type it out anyway. But like it's getting good. I was pretty impressed by this upgrade. Anyway, so after we set the object to active, we will also play for explosion animator play. What was it called again? Bomb spawn. Okay. And then we have a another callback here. Play bomb despawn animation, where we just calculate some despawn delay, be some amount shorter than the explosion duration. Let's say 0.3 seconds. Yeah, and then we play the despawn animation like a second before we actually flip off the sprite and the collision and stuff. At this slightly reduced delay. Okay. We have to actually do that. So we go in here, we say bomb despawn. We don't have to call idle, it just goes into idle automatically. Last thing we need to do is adjust the speeds on these animation states, I think. Usually it's way too fast if you just leave it. I think you're supposed to use like the full 60 keyframes, but I always find that to be like pretty tedious for the relatively simple like pixel arts type animations I use. Let's bump this down to like 0.2. 0.2. It's a good start, but not that. We'll see. Is there anything else I need to do? I think it'll crash if I try to call the animation and it can't actually do it, so we'll find out. That did not play an animation. Sure, it did not. Unless it was just so fast, I couldn't even see it. Wait, let me go back. And I will, hold on, let me pause so the vine is not chasing me. Let's grab our explosion thing. Selecting it. And if we hit E, what happens? Not have. It does have an anime. Oh, the animation controller is not properly set. Sometimes that have. Like sometimes, it automatically created this controller. I didn't create it, but my experience, sometimes it sets that properly on the prefab, and sometimes. So let's go to our prefab. It's going to be under not graphics, but assets, resources, prefabs, active items, bomb explosion. Set the controller to. Let's try again. All right, it went right into the idle. It did not. Why is it not playing the spawn? Is it just too fast? See, I'm gonna step through. It didn't. You have to hit E and then immediately hit step. Yeah, it just. I mean, the idle is a slight improvement, but not playing the spawn, and yeah, we need slightly more time for the despawn. Why are you not playing the spawn though? That's what I'm wondering. Set. Does something. Oh, whoops. That's what happened. What? Oh, I saved bomb idle as. Ugh. I saved them wrong. Feel dumb. All right, I can hopefully fix this with renaming. It was playing the spawn, but I set up the spawn to do the idle animation. All right, we're gonna rename idle idle fake, and we rename spawn to idle, and we rename idle fake to spawn. That work? And yes, I think so. Well, did it? This should be a different. Should be 0, 0. Five. Let's double check the idle. Good. Okay, can I click things? Control Alt Delete. I click that. I might need to reopen the animation window since I renamed stuff. Okay, I think we're good now. Yes, yeah, see now the spawn state thinks it has idle. Fix that. Fix this to idle. Alright, let's give that a shot. That time it didn't spawn at all. Maybe I messed up the spawn in? Oh, are they? Yeah, they're incorrectly marked as looping, so it's probably looping right back to the beginning where it's invisible again. And also it's looping. Uh, nah, it's a mix and match of final artwork, I would say. I definitely want to make player guy look a lot better. I think I might like darken him up and give him like a glow instead of this combo UI. Just have the give him like a aura type thing. So it's like dark player against the bright aura. I already have the thing where you're like leading these glowy footprints. I can work more on that. Also, I'm getting a replacement for this main vine. And I want to do more of the post-processing, like the lighting and stuff. But I am probably sticking to this like this overall tile set vibe of like these like right angle platforms and stuff. I would mainly be looking to juice it up with shaders and post-processing and also light. I might go make normal maps out of all of these things. Make light look better, and I'm also gonna like actually take the time to light these levels. Like this is giving off like fake light, but in actual light. All right. Why did I forgot that was what I was supposed to be testing? Fixed. About to die. So yeah, a mix of placeholder and representative art, but overall more leaning towards the early placeholder restages. But instead of like, switching to a higher resolution of art, the approach would be using programmatic type art things to increase the visuals to the next level. So that would be light, post processing, and shaders. Like I think I have a decent for the upward growth of the vine, but the leaves still don't grow outwards. And I do want to like probably spend another round of like weekends on fine tuning that grow shader. I really want to. I feel like I can get a good look of like sort of the racing right angle lines. Just you know what I mean, like kind of like just growing upwards along the path of the lines that are like built into the asset pack. I think I can do a better job of that. the grow shader. We'll see. First, we have to see why this animation isn't working. Because, I have like the slightly nicer shield animations and stuff, and the explosions would probably use that, or even potentially I'll look through what assets I have offline for an explosion type thing. But overall, animation window is becoming not clickable. Makes me worried it has not saved my changes. Unity. Been happy with Unity. Don't disappoint me again. All right, 0, 1 into idle. I truly do not know. Maybe it's too slow. Not noticing it happening. Definitely not visible. Let's see. Let's do the E tab. All right. What are your properties here? Let's look at the debug inspector. Maybe it'll tell me its current animation state and junk like that. Does not. Bizarre. All right, let's look at the sprite. So it has full alpha. Why can't I see it? Oh wait, it has an alpha of 1. Oh. It needs to. Wait, what the heck? It has an alpha of 1 in HSV. Oh, now it doesn't. Oh, I didn't hit it. Ledge grab being too finicky lately. Makes me worried I broke it. My problem with animator. Have I spelled everything correctly? Spawn. Spawn. Is there like a reset? That's what I really want. And I want to set it to like entry. Really, I'm not sure. I thought this would be like an easy thing to throw. See, like that's the thing. Thing that I thought might be hard takes 2 seconds. The thing that I thought like, oh, this would be a nice little easy thing to throw at the end is like bizarrely not working how I expect it to. Okay. That time I saw it a little bit before it looked weird, which makes me think its speed is way too slow and I'm just never it's never having enough time to grow. before it's being overwritten by the despawn. That is what it was. Okay. So it even needs to go a little bit faster. So we can give the idle some time to run. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty right to me. Close enough. I mean, maybe we can just even slightly faster to just give the idle more time to run. The despawn probably needs to go way faster. And we can slightly less time. All right, let's try that. I mean, this is just parameter tweaking at this point. Which you always want to avoid. Well, I feel like you got to do it eventually, but time for parameter tweaking is not now. Hit my mic, sorry. Alright, we'll wait for the cooldown to come up. We hit our thing. Yeah, I mean, more or less, it's definitely better communicated than it was before. Ultimately, this is probably going to have to be a shader effect. But, it's a slight improvement, and it gives me something to potentially hook the shader effect into as a starting point. I want to find a bunch of chickens, not just like one. Alright, there's a bunch. I wonder. I don't want to make it too slow or it feels non-reactive. I might need to make it even a little bit faster. That's not. I feel like that's not parameter tweaking because it's like a problem that doesn't feel like doesn't feel responsive to the thing I told it to do. I can see a chicken coming at me that I want to explode and I hit the button, but like I didn't hit the button soon enough. I don't like it. Also, just I think a faster expand time is more evocative of explosion. Yeah, I think that's better. So yeah, I have to find a batch of chickens to go explode. I'm gonna keep going up higher where there are probably more chickens. Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch. Got them. All right. That's the basic idea of like using an animator. Looks good there. Let's split it. That took slightly longer. We'll make this its own chapter and add the basic laser animation. All right. Now that I've already hit the problems, hopefully this second one will be easy. Also, since it's spawning, we don't have to like reset his animation state at all. We just build the animator into the laser object. It'll spread out. That's all you need. In theory. Um, so to assets, resources, prefabs, active items, laser beam. I set the scale anchor. I think I just might need to make it. I can make it tiled up 0 to 1. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna Yeah, add that to among the targeted test levels should include a spawning level where debug controls are linked to various enemy types, reform, be able to get any scenario you want to test up and running quickly, avoid 30 seconds of platforming to test a code change. This is like I guess this is like the level test level. I don't know if this would be like representative. But like I do have the one little bit thing a debug thing is it can give you like the meta level information. What the difficulty is that it uses to spawn enemies, the player's current height, how high the player has reached as a max, which goes into combo basically. You get more combo for getting a new max height than just rising up. And then like the combo value that is associated with this UI here. Yeah, I've been slacking on the keeping up with the debug controls, and I'm paying for it in many 20-second increments. But the laser hopefully be quick and easy, and this will be probably the last thing I do. So we're gonna go to assets, graphics, animation, items. Or add a new folder called laser, and it will just be laser spawn. Add a property, local position. Basically just the sprite renderer fill. I guess its images have fill like that. The tile is the same. So it'll be size. Wonder is it gonna come out from the middle though? Yeah, it is. How do I give it a pivot? Might only be able to do it with might only be able to do this type of thing I want for free with an instead of a sprite. Oh wait, yeah, sprite start point pivot, but how do I set a pivot? Alt? How to adjust the pivot? Oh, it's in the actual sprite? Oh, I don't want to do that. No, I think it's fine. I can just do the janky version of it. I basically just want to hook it up with an animator and make sure the animation plays. Like ultimately, I'm gonna replace this with a shader anyway, so let's just well, I still probably will have an animation, but the bulk of the work will be being done by a shader. The animation will just be like making it so the collision box expands over a brief period of time. And we can visualize that relatively easily with this laser beam.size thing. Uh, Actually, if that's what we're gonna do, we should just do the transform. Um, so yeah, not 60, bring it back to 10. And we're just gonna go from, I guess we might need to be a little bit more precise about this because I feel like I want it to quickly, like for that lasery thing, more quickly expand horizontally than it expands vertically. So vertically, we'll just go from 0 to 1.5 as a standard thing, but horizontally, if it's going to 5.2, that seems like such a random value. Let's just call 5.5, 5.25, and 5.25 at 1.5. So 1.5, 5.25, 0 here. The halfway point. Oh, I was kind of hoping you give me the halfway point. It would be, but 5.25 is 2.5. It'd be like 2.2, like 375 or something. We don't have to be exact. We just need to get more of the horizontal than that, like 2 and change, high 2s. We'll just say 4, right? And it's doing most of its vertical horizontal growing first. Um, then I think I do need just like an empty idle animation. It just has a single frame. Not new animation. It's just whatever its scale is supposed to actually be. So 5.25, 1.5. So laser spawn goes out, and then laser idle just like keeps those properties. Let's open up the laser beam animator, spawn first into idle, and then it'll just destroy itself when it gets far enough off the screen. 1 is probably fine from what we saw from the other thing. The speed of this is irrelevant. This is marked as looping. This is marked as not. I don't think this needs any interaction with code because it's just an animation that the object plays when it spawns into the world. Let's see if that's the case. We do need to switch our currently held item though in that manager script to the laser, which I think is number 2. Another type of good thing for a test level would be active item test level swap between all active items quickly, easily. Maybe I should just like make a mega test level. It's like, okay, get any active item, spawn in any enemies arbitrarily, like spawn the vine up 20 feet, something like be able to do all that from just like debug. I don't know if that's better or having like isolated test levels intended for a particular testing a particular thing is better. Upfront cost is lower. What am I testing? Oh, right, the laser animation. Yeah, it wasn't very pretty, but it did the thing. Maybe that is slightly too fast. Why is Unity? I switched to some other accent. There. Unity just changed my views all the time. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. All right, there we go. What was I checking? Oh, right. I want to take this animation and slightly decrease the speed of it. Because I'm pretty sure it's happening, but it's happening so fast that I don't notice it. Or like I have to question. Yeah, spawn in. I mean, to be a zillion% sure, I can just go bop. Yeah, see, it's growing. Yeah, maybe that's a numbers thing again. I'm just gonna use a shader anyway. This was just like making sure that that spawn uninitialized type thing looks fine. I'm gonna cross that off. I think that's probably the first stream in a while I did everything on the list and then I had to add extra things. Um, let's just switch back to time stop and jump through, make sure there are no time stop for no unexpected problems. Think about what I might do next time. Actually look at my big doc. Oh, I guess I moved it over. So 2 to 4 active items are pretty much there. I guess I would say the active item UI could probably be taken up a step. Um, but maybe I'll just move on to uh, fixing up the shop. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm still planning on adding a dash for the player as an alternative to double jump, so that's probably something I want to front load. That's another thing in the lane of, and just simple platforming is probably not going to be enough to make something interesting. So need to do I need to add more things. How often do I stream development? I've been doing it weekly for a while now. Yeah, every Tuesday around 6:15, 6:30 Pacific time, I stream for like 2 or 3 hours. Uh, and then I do a bunch of work offline in the rest of the week, and then like hopefully I have some changes to show next Tuesday every time. I wish it were like just equal, because then I could stream like all the time. Like why not? But just like narrating everything I'm doing does make me work slightly less slower. So I definitely want to keep the pace up and get it done in a. Oh, look at this guy's stop! I love it. Oh, that's a thing to look into. I'm gonna add a note about that. Newly spawned enemies. Time stop only affects spawned enemies. Spawners should stop as well. Or spawned enemies should immediately stop. That's something to fix. I can potentially make really dangerous walls, since some people are still moving. Yeah, that's looking good to me. All right, I don't see any unexpected bugs. So yeah, that is probably gonna be it for me for today. Next time, I might be working on the other woods boss, that poison mushroom cloud. Maybe the dash. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to. It's just gonna be whatever needs to get done the most out of this stuff. I really want to get to pre-alpha so I can start getting it in some people's hands, just the end-to-end full vertical slice, and start those feedback loops going. Oh yeah, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the notes and stuff. Have a good night. Yeah, and I guess that's it for me. Uh, I'll always stream Tuesdays around 6:15, 6:30 Pacific. Check me out on social media, all the places, Twitter, YouTube. I post the VODs. It's Quiet Bench Zen, all those places. I also have a bunch of Game Jam games up on itch.io. That's just also Quiet Bench Zen. Also, the Game Jam version of this game, which is called Peaceful Night, although it's like so different at this point. I've been hacking away at this for months. Yeah, anyway, that'll be it for me. Have a good night.